Rolling.
Good afternoon. Welcome to John Thompson's Modern Course for the Piano, Lesson 2. We're going to play the second song in the book, which is called Patterns. And let's go to the music. Before we look at patterns, I just want to remind you, we're still working in this hand position of C major. So that right hand, the thumb is going to be on middle C, and the corresponding fingers are going to go up to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the left hand, put that pinky on C and that thumb on G, and you will be ready to go. So let's go over to patterns here. This is called patterns, and if you go ahead and read about the musical form and the patterns here, what they are encouraging you to do is look for patterns in all of the pieces that you will be learning in this course and anywhere else. Learning the patterns will make reading the music easier, will make memorizing the piece easier, and make understanding the piece easier as you progress in your lessons. So let's look at the pattern here. We have a simple melodic pattern starting with some steps up and skips down. We're going to talk about these notes in terms of steps and skips. We go and we have a C, and we step up to a D and step up to an E, and then we skip down to a C. If you can see, the E is on the first line and the C is on a ledger line, and there's a space in between it, so a note has been skipped. C, D, E, skip down to a C. There is our little musical pattern. And we're repeating it here, one note higher. So we started here with a C, and now we're going to go up to a D. And look, we go step up to an E, a step up to an F, and a skip down to a D. And you can see that the D is considered a space note, and the F is a space note, and there's a line in between. We've skipped a note in between there. We go to the third measure, and we repeat that pattern again, one step higher, E, F, G, and a skip down to an E. And then we end this first phrase on a D. C, D, E, C. D, E, F, D, E, F, G, E, D. Now, this first phrase is repeated in the second phrase with the exception of at the very end, instead of a D here, we're going to have a C here. And you will hear that there's a certain finality in this C that you won't appreciate in the D. When you hear this D, it's clear that the piece needs to go forward. Okay, I'm going to play this so you know what it looks like. I'm going to play it measure by measure. I'm not going to play the phrase fluently so you can see. First measure. Now let's look at that second measure. I'm going to step up to the D. Now the third measure, stepping up to that E. Okay, we're going to go to the second phrase, fourth measure, and it's a repeat. The fifth measure is a repeat. And here's the difference. Okay, all together. And there we have it. Let's do the left hand now. Looking at the left hand, we're starting on a C with our pinky finger, see the 5, and we're going up to the G with our thumb, see the 1. And we go back down to our C, and then we hit the E, and then we hit a G. And then look, we just step down. We go G, F, E, D. G, F, E, D. Stepping down. we come here, despite the fact that our right hand, the first and second phrase, are very, very similar, there are some big differences between these two. We're going to do an E, C. Then we're going to step up to an F. We have an E here. Now we're going to have an F, D. Do you see the little pattern here? We have E, skipping down to a C, and then we have F, skipping down to a D. Then we come over and we have a G and a G. The pattern doesn't exist here. We end with E, G, C, which is our C chord. We talked about that in the first lesson, our C chord, and I'm going to show you that really quickly here, that's also a C chord. It's just broken up. If I held them all down. That C chord is kind of like the foundation chord for this piece because it's written in the key of C. Let's look at that whole left hand now from the very beginning of the first phrase. C, G, C, E, G, F, E, D, E, C, F, D, G, G, E, G, C. Let's practice that one more time before we put both hands together. C, G, C, E, G, F, E, D, E, C, F, D, G, G, E, G, C. Okay, now that we've practiced both hands thoroughly and we feel confident, we're going to put both hands together. Let me hand this phone to Joe. Okay, are we ready here? Here we go from the beginning. Let's do that one more time. Thank you for listening.